Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Queen Me podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Munguez, and today we have a very special guest, one of my great friends, San Dixon.
What's going on?
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. This is our first episode of season 1 of the relaunch, so this episode is very special to me. And you know, thinking of who should I put first on our show, right? So I was thinking about who is the number one right now in my life who's making a big difference.
Thank you.
Not just in the basketball world, but in other people's lives as well. Who is, you know, making a difference? So, you know, I would love to, you know, do a little intro, but tell us about yourself.
Well, first off, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Queen,
you.
you're your crown. Thank you for having me on your show. Who I am, man, I am a Sagittarius baby who was born on the 23rd of November back in 1987. That's where the story kind of started. And from a very early age, I grew up playing sports with my brothers. You know, I got a lot of older brothers. That was our thing, you know. And I tell my parents all the time, because they're like, did you have a trainer when you was younger? I'm like, no, I had outside. You know what I mean? You had parks, you
never
know.
had a trainer.
Yeah, no trainers. You just play outside. I had siblings who gave you a lot of butt whoopings. That's how you kind of improved at things. But I played all sports. You know, I played softball. I ran track. I tried volleyball. And from there, I grew up in Pasadena initially, but when I was like in 4th or 5th grade, we moved to Azusa. I don't know where that is, like 12 miles, you know, east of Pasadena.
Right.
So went there, spent my entire childhood there, high school there. And from there, you know, I was blessed with 2 amazing coaches. I call them my dads, you know. Coach Scherf, I call him my red dad because he was a redhead. Then we had Coach Brad Dolan. I call him my Brad dad. He was just an older dude, but they took care of me. And they were the ones who was like, yo, where do you want to go to college? I'm like, college? You know, Loving Basketball had just came out. I'm like, man, I'm going to the NBA. You know what you mean? I'm Monica. How are you confused about this? You see the movie. So, you know, they humbled me real quick and was like, here's a piece of paper. Write down all the schools you want to go to. And, of course, you know, you write down the UConns, the Stanfords, Tennessees.
Big schools.
Big schools. My grades wasn't there, you know, and I got into San Diego State. So I went there. I'll take a step back. They actually put me in AAU basketball, so travel ball. I know we might touch on that a little later, but I didn't start playing travel basketball until I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
So I had 2 summers to get a scholarship.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Unlike, you know, the pressures that these younger kids feel today at like 8, 9 years old. It's like, go hard, people.
Right.
And it's like, whoa, like, enjoy life, enjoy sports. So from there, one of the first people in my school history to get a full scholarship. So that was like a big deal. You know what I mean? Played varsity all my years in high school. I was San Gabriel Valley Tribune Player of the Year coming out of high school. And but got to college and got humbled very quickly. Now I am not just the one. You know, I'm on a team full of individuals who they're all here for a reason. And college was tough. You know, I went from averaging 38 minutes a game to 2 minutes a game. You know what I mean? And talk about like second guessing who you are and, you know, question like, damn, am I even going to make it to the NBA? Because, you know, those are the things that got me to that point.
Exactly.
And me and my coach, we really didn't see eye to eye. Like me and Beth Burns, you know, she's a great coach. You know, now I understand that expectation level of me now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And truth be told, a lot of the things that she instilled in me, I hold that same caliber expectation of my players and even my friends.
Right.
So graduated from college, you know, first person, you know, in my family to go full ride.
It's huge.
You know what I mean? You know, no debt. I don't owe nobody nothing. I got my degree in liberal arts. And after college, you know, now I'm trying to fulfill that dream, right? To go pro. So I got an agent, kind of ran off on me. But life is still happening. You know,
Right, you got to keep going.
Man, my stomach is grumbling. I'm like, oh, man. So, you know, truth be told, I went through a little depression because I was like, dang, without basketball, well, what can I do?
Right.
You know, what is there for me to do? And my colleague, Emily Williams, I had to move back from San Diego because now I know scholarship, you know, fastball, all that stuff is gone. So you got to get out of San Diego. It's beautiful, but if you ain't got the pockets, you got to get up out of there. You know, oceanfront views all day. So now I'm back in LA. My family was living on 68th and Normandy. And I was walking my dog, and my friend was driving up the street. She like, you know, when somebody seen in LA, it's like, hey, I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm like, where you going? She like, on my way to the Boys and Girls Club. I'm like, what? Can I get a job? Like, cause I didn't have a job, you know? In that moment, that's when everything changed for me. I started working at Challengers Boys and Girls Club in the summer of 2013. Got hired as a game room attendant to watch kids play video games, mainly boys, 10 to 12-year-olds, and that can be, just imagine. Right. 10 to 12-year-old boys just playing video games. Oh, it's my turn. He's cheating. So I was like, can I take them outside? They like, yes. And lo and behold, as soon as the basketball get out, everybody want to challenge me, you know. So one thing led to another. And I realized like these boys and even girls that I had out there, they had all the natural talent. They just didn't really know the rules or know what's going on. So I just started taking them through drills, you know what I mean? And when I started, I was just saying, I was not Coach San. And I tell the story all the time. The Boys and Girls Club saved my life, you know, like that's where Coach San came from, because Trayvon Kiner, who was one of the first kids I ever trained, he's 21 now, but he was 9 at the time. I remember his mom came up to me and was like, hey, you know, I'm Joni, like my son said you can train him. I'm like, excuse me, hi. I'm not a trainer. He's just in my program, like we play in the gym. She's like, well, if you're up to it, like, you know, here's a park, meet us this weekend. And that's where it kind of happened. You know, I started working with more kids, and the community, the kids saw this in me, you know what I mean? And then now looking at it in hindsight, that's what my coach saw in me in college, you know what I mean, to like hold me to these levels of expectation. So from there, you know, kind of get into like my business, Defend Your Legacy Basketball. That was a mantra I was using for myself, right? Because like I said, when I graduated college, I was like, well, what do you have? Well, I have my name. Right. I have my legacy. I have all these things that I've already achieved, so how can I build upon them? Now I have these kids who look up to me, but me and you are both teachers in the same club, but they don't listen to you, they listen to me. Right. So now I can say, yo, what's that about? Like, defend your legacy. You can't be like this with me and like that with her, so who are you? Be who you are all the time and be the best you can be in all your spaces. Exactly. You know, and I used to call my training All Aspects Academy, and I would say defend your legacy and everything. But now I say, you know, defend your legacy basketball in all aspects of life. Right. So that's where that kind of came from. And from the Boys and Girls Club, Coach San started, you know, working with the Brotherhood Crusade, which is another major nonprofit here in Los Angeles. My best friend Sherry, Nike was looking for, like, this is when the whole female initiative started back in 2014, looking for female trainers. And she was like, yeah, San. I was like, cool. And then, you know, Junior Drew League female trainer, you know, the Mamba League, you know, now it's just like, I'm definitely recognized as a Nike trainer and a Nike influencer, a change maker, a sport impact leader, like all these titles that to me go under defending my legacy. Right. So yeah, that's.
Man, you already a legend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, I just love to hear your story. It's very inspiring because you were not, all of this was actually unexpected to you, correct?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Everything in life happens for a reason, right? And so it's so crazy to think that those kids actually inspired you to start Defend Your Legacy. So now talk about, what are your core values in your program?
I go off for 3 Ps. Like, I don't ever preach or teach something that I never been through. So for me, it is passion. Find out what it is you're passionate about. Pursue that. But then it's have patience in learning and being in your moments, right? So you can pursue your passion. It's not gonna happen overnight. Never. You know what I mean? And then have purpose and intent in what you're doing. Right. You know what I mean? Because for a long time, my own family would be like, what is it you do now? I'm like, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach. Oh, okay. Right. Oh, yeah, that's me on a big billboard. Yeah, that's making a difference. You know, so it takes time sometimes for people to see a vision, but that doesn't mean that you can't. Right. So just, you know, purpose, passion, and patience. Those
I love that. And that is more than just basketball.
Yes.
Right? I feel like for us trainers, you could just, like for us, like there's a lot of people who have injuries, their body just, you can't hoop forever. It's those values, right, that you get from playing the sport, from your mentors, from your colleagues, from your coaches, that you apply to life.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what makes you such a good leader.
Thank you.
You are today. So I love that. She is the owner. Those of you who are just tuning in right now, we have Coach San Dixon. Yes, she is a business owner, and she played in college, and she's still trying to help others pursue their dreams.
Yes.
And it's more than just basketball. right? So
Right.
now you've had your business. You've had multiple opportunities. I've seen you on a billboard somewhere in Los Angeles.
Yes. Yes, that was crazy.
Man, Nike.
Yes.
You even, had opportunities to work with the WNBA.
Yes,
Los
yes.
Angeles Sparks.
Yes, yes.
So all of these opportunities are just coming at you. And you are still, what I like about you, San, is that you're very humble.
Thank you.
Very humble. You let all your accomplishments just speak, right? And that's what makes you you. So talk about that. Talk about Nike.
Yeah.
Talk about the Sparks.
Sparks, yeah, man. And you know what's funny about all these opportunities? About relationships.
Right.
Like, you probably know, I have your name under Concordia, Nikki Concordia.
Oh, really?
Because that's when our paths cross.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's like, because of our relationship, we're sitting here now. So it's like the Nike thing. That was because of my friend Sherry was in a room that I wasn't in and spoke up for me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So now I'm working with Nike because of her. The Sparks, my colleague and one of my best friends, my big homie, Kristen Welch. When I was in college.
Shout out to her.
Yeah,
I love her.
Man, come on, man.
She a hustler.
She's a true boss. Okay,
She
so
is.
when I was in college, she was the manager of the team. So when I went through both of my surgeries in college, she was right there. And when I say right there, was like when I woke up from before they put me down, I'm like, hey, is Kristen here? Like, cause when I'm go under, like, I need her in the room.
Right.
You know, so. When she was with the Sparks, and I remember she called me like, man, I'm about to start this girls program, like, da-da-da-da, and just breaking it down. She like, you the person I want to do it. I'm like, say less. Right. So from our relationship, that's how I got in with the Sparks. And once they seen what I was doing with the junior Sparks, one of my kids who I trained, named Imani, her dad, Duran, is good friends with Derek Fisher.
Oh, wow.
So when I'm training his daughter, he like, nah, saying you need to come. I'm gonna tell Derek so you can get with. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, so again, this is what people are seeing in me. I'm just walking one foot in front of the next. So all these relationships led to just more opportunities. And one of my mentors, Coach Lou, always told me to work so hard to where you can't be replaced. So that's how I move. I'll move to where it's like, yeah, you can get somebody else to do it, but they're not gonna do it like me. Right. You know what I mean? They're not gonna have the energy and intent behind it like I have. So with that, Junior Sparks, clinic director, Derek Fisher offered me an internship to work with the Los Angeles Sparks. So walking in a training camp and seeing chairs, and had a moment though of like, damn, I'm not a player. But then had a moment of gratitude, like, God, thank you for letting me. It
humbled you.
Yeah, I got a seat in the room
sure.
now. So. Wow. And then like you said, Nike, Junior Drew League, clinic director, and then the Mamba League stuff, rest in peace to Kobe, I was living living in San Diego coming up to do those clinics, so yeah, those are just some things that I've done, and I could be leaving stuff out because I just take it all just one day at a time, one opportunity at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I like about what you said was relationships.
Yeah.
No matter what you do in life, right? It's very important to, just value those relationships that have given you certain opportunities.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like a lot of people, I'm just going to be transparent, right? You give them opportunities and they act like they did it all themselves. For me, I always give credit where credit is due.
Right.
Right? And that's life.
You have to,
right? But a lot of people don't have that value instilled in them. Right? But you know what? I'm going to give shout out to Kobe Bryant. Right, you have that sweater on for a reason.
Yeah, I do.
You and I worked the clinic with him at Mamba Sports Academy.
Yeah.
It was an all-girls clinic. I think it was his last girls clinic. Right. So, talk about how he has changed basketball, how he has changed girls basketball and lives, and how he's changed your life.
Yeah, he put the stamp on it. It's like I feel like. People be like, oh, girls basketball is like on this rise, but we've always been here.
We really have.
We have always been here.
Right.
All these amazing athletes you see, like, people always been doing this, like, for years. So I feel like when Kobe, an individual of his caliber, comes in and says, Nikki is that person, San is that person, now it's like, oh, are they? And I appreciate him for that. He wasn't looking for any support either. Like, he was just out there doing it himself, doing it for his daughter and his counterparts. So for Kobe to come in with the Mamba mentality, right? And I have this thing where I call people, my friends and kids I train, young legends, right? A young legend is not your age. It's about your mindset to impact the next generation and the next generation, whether you're doing that through your actions, through things that you're portraying, things you're saying. Like, you're a young legend. We're all young legends. So for Kobe to have the Mamba mentality and for me to be one of the people pushing his message, it totally aligned with what I was doing anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And this sweater is special because Vanessa just, they just did the clinic out in Orange County. And she was like, I went digging through my, boxes and I got sweaters for all the coaches. And I'm like,
Wow.
Vanessa, yeah, thank you. So whenever I feel like, I need a little extra armor on, because it is, we on camera, it is, but I'm ready, it feels good. So yeah, Kobe has definitely changed my life. He's reminding me to just stay true to my mission and do not deter away from influence and impacting girls and women's basketball because it is very important and needed. So
very, yeah. I love that. And one thing that Kobe really talks about, I've watched a ton of his podcasts, his interviews, is confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So working with young women, this is a women empowerment podcast. How do you bring out the best out of a young girl who is timid, who, maybe her first time playing at a competitive level?
Yeah.
What are your tactics as a coach, as a woman, as a person? How do you bring that out of them?
First thing I do, let me have your hand. I always touch people. Like when I came into this room, I touched everybody.
Right.
Because I know that something that God has blessed me with, I gotta give it. Sometimes you just gotta touch people.
Right.
And you'll be surprised, a lot of kids, their first session, they either quit, throw up, cry, they scared,
They scared,
and I get
they
it,
got anxiety.
Yeah, but see, this is calm saying,
Right.
But when I'm on the court, I'm just
I've seen you.
Yeah, it's serious.
I've seen
And I believe there's a fine line between things being fun and challenging.
Exactly.
So I have practiced that really well. And when I do get a kid that's timid or scared, I immediately get down to their level, whether they, they're usually shorter than me, so I'll take a knee or we'll both sit down. And I'll be like, I've been there with you. So I share my story with them.
Right.
So they can realize they looking at me now, but I was once them.
Right.
And since you're here with me, guess what? You're gonna be better than me.
Right.
And they like, really? And I'm like, no, really. Because I didn't have me. Well, I had me when I was your age, but I didn't know that I had me. But I'm telling you, you got me and we got each other, so let's get better.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Let's defend our legacy. You got this. So that's kind of what I do. Those are some of my tactics. Touch on my kids and, in a positive way to remind them I'm here, we in this together. And then share stories with them to let them know that I'm human too.
Right. And I'm going to say this again, it's always more than just hoop. It's always more than just hoop. Confidence, being a leader.
Yes.
Right? Being a leader is so important in, business world and in the athletics. So what does being a leader mean to you?
I think we're all leaders. Like I said, we're all young legends in our own right. So if I'm the leader in the room with the energy and you the leader in the room with just speaking to others, I need you to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're leading in rebounding, you don't score, but you getting us more possessions to score, I need you to do that.
Exactly.
So I encourage everyone to just lead out in their own space because we're all here to do something different because there's so much work to be done.
Exactly.
I can't take it on by myself. I need you, you need me. So that's kind of my take on leadership.
Right. I love that. And, this is all about, self-development. You've been dropping so many gems, man.
Thank you.
So many gems. But, I want to go back to when you were talking about depression.
Yeah.
Let's be real here, because, you never know who's watching. You never know who's going through something right now. Mental health has been huge, Coach. Mental health with these kids, social media being involved. You have gone through, you said it, gone through your own type of depression. Everybody has their own definition of, depression. But basketball has gotten you through it.
Yeah.
Right? So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How did basketball get you through, the lowest point in your life?
Yeah, I love basketball because it'll do two things really quickly. It'll boost your confidence real quick, let you go out there and light everybody up. Be like, yeah, I'm back.
Right.
Or you go out there thinking you got it and it'll humble you. Right. So that's why I love basketball.
Right.
And then ultimately, what basketball has always given me is extended family. So even when I was at my lowest, I could go play pickup with my friends and know just being around my sisters and we sharing the ball and we laughing yeah, this is life. You know what I mean? And I always use basketball as my safe space. Even as a kid, like I would ride my bike, hop fences, and just shoot. Like, you know, just dreaming about stuff. So basketball definitely helped me step away from whatever it was that I was dealing with off the court, and then instilled in me like, yo, remember, like, you got this. Look, you out here working hard. Like, knock that down. See? Now go get that. Like, treat this bucket like you getting that next opportunity.
Right.
You know, the shot clock running down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the hours ticking. Like, you got to get certain stuff done. So I've always had this way of like correlating basketball to life. Sometimes it can get overwhelming, and that sometimes will take myself into like this deeper like depression, because now I'm second guessing this, second guessing that. So just got to find that balance and surround yourself with people who gonna keep you right.
That's so important. Like surrounding yourself with people who will really uplift you. And honestly, the older you get, like a lot of people are not gonna be at the same mentality as you. For real, I'm being real. I mean, I'm sure people watching can relate too, right?
Like, stay over there, please.
Hold on, I need to stay focused. Right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to, you know, think the way you think.
Right.
Right? And so basketball has helped you get out of depression. Now let's talk about mental health nowadays with these kids. Right? We mentor a lot of kids. Right, and for me, and I'm pretty sure you as well, you want to make sure that they're protected, you know, and to have the right mentality, to have the right, you know, to dream big, right? So, what are some advice that you would give to the younger generation now on? For those athletes who are, you know, taking hoops so seriously, you know, I know you understand. I know they want to get to the next level, but what's the type of advice you want to give them?
Advice. Let's see. The advice I want to give to you guys is be in your moment, right? And I know it's real easy to pick up your phone and look at the next person, but I'm telling you this right now. Very few people put the struggle on there, right? And that's not even my point. So stay on your journey, stay on your path, and know that wherever you are, that's where you're supposed to be. Because if you just fast forward to the good stuff, then when you get in that moment, you're not going to know how to react. Right. So if you just fast forward to a superstar, now the shot clock running down, you're like, I've never been here before.
Right.
But if you missed a few buzzer beaters before, you going back to the drawing board. So my advice to you is to keep failing forward. That's it. Just fail forward. Like, you missing a shot, you not getting an opportunity, someone saying no to you, I love that stuff. Because now I'm like, ooh, they said no, okay. Feedback time, what do I need to do more or less of? Ooh, I missed that bucket. Oh, it was left, it was right. Okay, I need to work on my balance, my legs, my follow through. So keep failing forward. That's why I say this. And just keep going legend, man. It's easy, man.
Love it, love it. Now, what about rejection? You were talking about no.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, even in life, we encounter, you know, several rejections here and there. So how would you advise somebody who has a hard time handling rejection and moving forward?
That's tough. Because please, like, you might not believe this, but when I first started training, someone told me, like, yo, you shouldn't train, like, you ain't gonna make it far because you're a female. And I'm like, wow. Damn, like, if that's not all the rejection, and like, don't even think about this. And then I even took a moment to look, and I'm looking, and I'm like, yeah, damn, they right. Like, it isn't no female, like, trainers. There's female coaches, you know what I mean? But, like, to be doing skill development. So I would just encourage you guys to deal with rejection just as it is. It's rejection. Take it. Take it for what it is.
Right.
Like, if someone is rejecting you, it can be one of two things. One, a higher power is looking out for you and making you dodge something that is not suited for your life at the moment.
Right.
Or two, you probably don't even want to work with that person because they can be taking you for what you really are. So always know, like, there's a reason for that shortcoming, and just, you know, take it for what it is. But don't be afraid to, like, find out, like, well, what more can I do? Like, I always ask that question, like, oh, okay, you know, no, we're not looking for you for this opportunity. Okay, well, what is it that you guys are looking for? Do you have any other opportunities, or can you refer me to somebody else? So usually people are open to those types of things.
Right. So just keep going.
Keep going legend, man.
Keep going. Keep going legend. I love that. I love that. I love the energy. And mindset. Mindset is really huge.
Key.
Really huge in hooping and running your own business.
Yeah.
right? But a lot of people do get discouraged,
Yeah,
Coach.
yeah, they do.
A lot of kids, they want to dream big, but it's, they're struggling.
Yeah.
They're struggling to, get the starting 5 position, right? So what type of mindset do you think that they should have?
I would just encourage them to just keep being kids, you know what I mean? Like, we kind of touched on like nonprofits that I worked for, but Peace Players, I was the program coordinator from them for 3 years. And what I love about Peace Players is it's a nonprofit that uses sports to bridge divides in communities, right? But we're not targeting the athlete. We're just targeting the kid that may or may not like basketball. So we do a lot of like peace education, confidence building, just teaching kids how to communicate, how to talk, how to work with others. So I think in that sense of like mindset, it's just like giving kids more than one thing to do. So if you just solely focus on basketball, you think like, dang, this is all I can do. But try art, try music, try dance, try another sport, try doing podcasts, you know what I'm saying? You just never know what your niche is. So you just gotta try more things, you know what I mean? So you can see.
And I love that.
Yeah.
You never know. It's like I said, there's a lot of people out there. For example, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe.
He was more than just a hooper. What was he? He was a producer.
Yeah,
like he had his own.
Had some rap songs out there.
He really did. He was, man, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of athletes out there who are, super creative and do not be scared to, get outside of your comfort zone. That's the only way to grow, right?
Yeah,
to get outside of your comfort zone. So let's talk about that. Being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only way to grow.
That's the only way to grow.
That's the only way to grow. So what are some hiccups or some times in your life, that were difficult, but now you look back and it's like, dang, I'm glad I went through that.
I went through that, yeah. For me, when I first started training, like I didn't have a cell phone, I didn't have a bike, a car, I had a bike. So I'm moving all through LA with an old school net bag, medicine balls, cones, rolling on the beach cruiser like Debo, the Debo trainer. That was me.
That was you.
But from that, right, that taught me like patience, getting from place to place. You know what I mean? That taught me like, okay, now I don't mind low key sitting in traffic sometimes because I used to be pedaling through traffic. And then as far as like uncomfort, I'll give you a more recent example. Right now, I'm finishing up my stint at Peace Players. So I put in my 2 weeks on the 3rd. So technically, on the 17th is gonna be my last day, and making that decision was tough because now I'm thinking like, are the kids thinking that I'm quitting on them? You know, did I start something and not finish it?
Right.
Am I letting my teammates down? The other coaches that I brought on. But then I had to understand that like this uncomfortable feeling is because like I'm destined to do more, and I had to realize that the kids know that I didn't quit on them. Like they know when they see me, Coach San is going, I'm here.
It's all still
you know
love.
what I mean? And Peace Players is a great organization. Once a Peace Player, always a Peace Player. I've made great connections. I'm super connected with the organization. But yeah, I do have my moments, even like I'm saying like now where I'm like, okay, write up your goals for today. So just continue to do the things that you were doing so you can keep growing. But it's definitely uncomfortable not knowing like when your next funds is gonna come in, but that can't be the focus, right? The focus has to be the purpose and what am I trying to achieve? I want to keep pushing women's basketball. I want to keep inspiring my community, keep training kids. I want to travel and do things like that. So gotta write them out. And every day I just gotta just step towards that. So yeah, but it's uncomfortable for sure.
For sure. Goal setting though. I mean, well, let's go back to that. You said it's uncomfortable to know that, you don't know what's up next, right? But that's why it's so important to have goals.
Right.
And to dream big and have those short-term goals, long-term goals, right? And just to stay focused.
Yeah.
Stay focused at all times. And those of you tuning in, this is Coach San. She is a business owner. She is a coach, an amazing woman, a great friend to me.
Yes, yes.
And she is over here sharing her story. Yeah, and we're having fun. Learning more about her.
Thank you.
And so let's talk about your business again.
Okay.
So you've been doing this for how long again?
Since 2012, but officially got my business license, this year. So.
Yo, congrats.
Thank you.
That's
You know
huge.
what I'm saying?
That is huge, you guys. I'm so proud of you. So business owner. Let's talk about business. Let's talk business.
Let's talk business.
So how has that been? Who has been helping you? Like, what is your structure? And what is it like running a business, even during COVID?
Man, it's been interesting. I have a lot of people who support me. I don't want to leave nobody out. But I've been meeting with a lot of people, and the individuals who I've been talking to just been encouraging. Actually, they're like more excited than me. They're like, man, you about to do what? I'm like, what you see? Can I have your eyes? Because I'm over here like, oh, I don't know.
Right.
But honestly, like, I've already have things on my calendar for this upcoming year. All-Star Weekend already booked. Got a trip to the Bay coming up.
Man.
Coaches have been hitting me to work with their team. So, and then just been having like talks, like some things that I want to do with Defend Your Legacy basketball. I want to be like, say you hosting a clinic or camp, you should be able to call Defend Your Legacy basketball and say, Coach Stan, I need 5 coaches. And you know that these 5 coaches is going to bring their energy. They're going to bring their effort. They're going to bring their excellence. They're going to bring their enthusiasm. They know how to work with kids, because you just know, like, they're going to have a piece of me within them. You know what I mean? Another thing I want to get to is, like, bringing kids from other countries, get a house, and just train them for the month. Ultimately, I've been working to get my own gym, my own facility, but not just for the basketball aspect, mentorship. You need help with homework. You need a counselor. You transitioning from high school to college. And then most recently, my girlfriend Janelle Porter is overseas. So
shout out.
Thank you. Just having that aspect of like, yo, Defend Your Legacy basketball, we can produce some pros. You know what I'm saying? So come over here, let's work. So those are some things that I have in mind. But again, just 2 months into this business thing. So I know, like, I've been keeping my receipts, I got my account set up, and,
LLC.
Just networking. Yeah, I'm just networking. So that's what it's about, just moving from, like specifically with Peace Players, like working for them to moving towards like partnership models, you know what I mean? And already, set with Nike, continue to partner with them. The Sparks continue to partner with them, the Junior NBA, so I'm just trying to just
back to back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay plugged in. Thank you.
I'm just so blessed to be, to have you a part of my life.
Thank you, Nikki.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are watching or not even, are blessed to have you as like more than just a coach.
Yeah.
Like a mentor.
Somebody
I could just give a call. Like, yo, like I'm just having a.
That's funny you said that. No lie. Was it 2 nights ago? I ain't gonna say their name, but 2 nights ago I talked to a couple of my kids who are now upperclassmen in college. I had them, they was in middle school, one was in high school, and we just chopping it up. And I'm like, yo, I told them on the phone, I said, yo, straight up, like, y'all definitely just, inspired me again, because I know that y'all really mess with me, because I ain't calling none of my middle school
right.
like, coach, what's up? Like, nah. So thank you for saying that, and shout out to my kids, man. I love y'all, man. Stay tapped in, man.
That's all love.
Yeah.
And that's what basketball is all about.
Thank you.
Just it's these relationships that you have for like a long time. That's so funny. I had one of my other players too hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah, come on.
Like, they're like, Coach, like, just thank you so much. Like, I got an A+ on my on my exam. I remember you would always tell me, just study hard.
There you go.
See, like, it's just these little.
They listening.
They're listening, and it's just so. It feels so special to be a part of their lives. And my favorite part is just watching them grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Watching them grow, as grown young women, young men, instill those values. That that they will keep in life, that they will apply in life. But exactly. So you got a Santa hat on.
La Santa in full effect.
Merry Christmas to everybody. We're in our holiday spirit right now, but you had a toy drive at the Women's Drew.
Coming up.
So coming up.
It's coming up. I was collecting toys for it, though.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about that. So let's first talk about the Women's Drew.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the toy drive.
Okay.
So the Women's Drew, you had played in the Drew before. So let's talk about like the culture, the competitiveness in the league.
Man, I love the Women's Drew League. Shout out to T-Ware. I've won 2 Women's Drew League championships.
Man, I'm trying to
what I
catch up
mean?
to you.
Hey, I'm going for it. My first as a coach. So shout out to my team Redemption. Went regular season undefeated. We're getting ready for playoffs. But the Women's Drew League, in a nutshell, it's like, you know, the Rucker of Cali, I guess. You know what I mean? If I had to put it in perspective for people who are not familiar with LA, but there are not too many like female leagues here in LA that, you know, the top players playing, and we get WNBA players in our league, you know, Nikki in the league, you know, so you know it's hoopers in the league, man. And I love it, and they're supporting my drive. You know, I partner with Rashonda Gray from the New York Liberty. Her nonprofit is called No Gray Areas, where she really dedicates her space to women and girls in shelters and just empowering them, you know, through her platform. So while she's overseas doing her thing, I hold it down here for her city because she is a LA baby. Oh, nice. So we're holding our 3rd annual Drive to the Basket. You get it? Like driving to the basket. Okay. Drive to the basket. That's how we get that. You know what I'm saying? And this year we're collecting toys. So last year we gave over 250 toys away. We gave away 50 backpacks to teenagers. We gave over 200 bags of food, shoes. The hoop bus pulled up, so shout out to Nico and the hoop bus family. So this year is our 3rd annual event, Nick, and we taking it a notch up. And I have been receiving letters from families, very heartfelt letters, and I'm granting some wishes this year. So Santa got y'all letters, man. We're going to be pulling up with the hoop bus to some of these families on Sunday, dropping off their gifts. So it's going to be a beautiful thing.
That's exciting. And it's, you know, it's just, I'm just glad to be a part of, or know people who just love to give.
Yes, ma'am.
Just love to give, because that's what life is all about, right? You gotta share the blessing, right? But what else? I just want to give a quick shout out to Kumu. Thank you for everybody viewing here in the United States. I know Philippines. Thank you, Kumu.
493 people watching.
Wow, we got 490 people.
What's up, baby?
Shout out JP.
Let's go.
Where is she at? She's on the other side of the world.
Yeah, she on the other side. Kosovo. I hope I'm saying that right. Keep going legend out there, though, baby. I'm proud of you.
We are so proud of you. Keep going. And Sam, thank you so much.
Oh, man, that's sweet.
You know, you dropped so many, we could talk for hours, on and on and on, but I just truly appreciate you. Keep going, keep inspiring other people's lives, not just, you know, you're not only inspiring young kids, you're inspiring your colleagues as well.
Thank you.
Because little do you know, I be on your Instagram, I'm like, all right, who is
thank
she?
You. Yeah, thank you.
Like, what's her next move?
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, I am very blessed to have somebody like you in my life because you bring so much value to mine.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
And this podcast, you know, first episode of my relaunch.
Let's go.
And, you know, and I don't think I would have it any better than to just have you on the show. And you brought so much light, so many gems, so much life advice. If you guys want to follow San, what are your handles?
Check me out on Instagram at DYLBball. Where else? I'm on Twitter at, I think it's at go_legend. Yeah, try that. If not, for sure, Instagram at DYLBball. So, yes.
Awesome. Any thank yous, you guys?
Yeah, man. First, you know, shout out to the man above, you know what I mean, for always just keeping me safe, keeping his hands on me and helping me ordain my steps from a day-to-day. Shout out to JP, you know, my right hand, even when she's overseas, you know, she's still holding me down. And shout out to the whole Defend Legacy family, man. Like, y'all inspiring me. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys. Coach Stan is from the community and for the community, and it will stay that way until I'm gone. You hear me?
Amen. Shout out to the Most High. Thank you so much, San. And I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye.
Peace.